Hello and welcome to the Webcast for Monday, March 2nd. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. We're starting today off with partly cloudy skies, including both some mid and high-level clouds, as well as a few low clouds and marine layer clouds in portions of the area, but a good deal of sunshine as well. A weak weather system has been passing just north of the area, bringing us this bit of cloudiness and a little bit of cooling following our recent record warm weather. That system brought us a little bit of shower and isolated thunderstorm activity to the Sierra yesterday. That activity has mostly ended, though, and now we're left with just some lingering winds, which are blowing pretty good across the usual windy spots this morning. West to northwest winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts to 50 miles per hour will continue to surface across the mountain ridges and through the desert passes through this evening. This minor weather system and its associated breezy onshore flow has taken the edge off the recent warmth we experienced this past weekend, but we're still looking at continued mild weather this week. Here's a look at today's forecast highs. Temperatures will run a few to several degrees above normal through Wednesday, with upper 40s and 50s across the lower mountains, 60s in the Central Valley, mid-70s to low 80s in the Southern California valleys, and 80s to near 90 in the low desert. Minimum humidity will be mainly between 20 and 40% across the region over the next few days, but higher in portions of Central California and drier in the deserts. This very weak system will depart later today and tonight, allowing weak high pressure to build back in for Tuesday. A somewhat more potent trough of low pressure drops in from the northwest starting on Wednesday, and this system looks to take an inside slider track heading towards the western Great Basin and desert southwest by Thursday and Friday. The forecast then becomes very uncertain over the weekend as a reinforcing trough from the north may merge with the first trough and become a strong, deep cutoff low centered somewhere in the general vicinity of Southern California by the upcoming weekend. In terms of what we do know about later this week, another round of light showers is expected mainly across the Sierra region late Wednesday into early Thursday as that next system moves in. However, because it's an inside slider, moisture with it will be quite limited and rainfall amounts will be under half an inch even over the Sierra, with many places likely staying dry entirely. The bigger impact of that system will be the wind. Northerly winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts to 50 miles per hour will surface across Santa Barbara County and the Grapevine Wednesday evening through Thursday morning, with strong west to northwest winds across the interior mountains and deserts. Some locally stronger winds are possible in the usual windy spots. And finally, that system will cause some cooling across the interior, with several degrees of cooling likely, and Thursday being the coolest day of the week in most areas. The exception will be across the south coast, where the offshore northerly flow will still keep things warmer. And beyond Thursday, the forecast confidence really falls off a cliff. It's all going to come down to the strength and track of that potential strong cutoff low centered somewhere between the coast of Baja and the desert southwest. If the low takes a more southeastern track towards the desert southwest and south of there, then we'll have to be on the lookout for a potential moderate to even strong Santa Ana wind event during the upcoming weekend, bringing significant warming and drying along and west of the coastal slopes. However, if the low tracks further west and sits, say, close to overhead of Southern California, then much cooler and likely showery weather will be observed during the upcoming weekend. So for now, that late week and weekend forecast is about as uncertain as it gets, and we'll need another day or two to get a better idea of how that's going to play out. In the meantime, with the recent warm and dry weather, dead fuel moistures are starting to plummet across most of the region, and that will continue this week. Of course, most wildland fuels do remain in the live category, but nonetheless, we may be near record dry territory on some dead fuel metrics by the end of this week, especially in Southern California. So to summarize, periods of windy and mostly dry conditions are expected over the next several days. Most fuel types across the region remain highly unreceptive to significant fire potential due to widespread green-up and some lingering soil moisture from the mid-February storms. So overall, expect large fire potential to remain very low this week. Nonetheless, a modest increase in initial attack is possible this week, with localized potential for fire spread in any fuel beds with a high dead component on the windier days. And we may see this large fire probability number increase just a tad later in the week, though it will almost certainly stay in the little to no risk category for the foreseeable future. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. The next one will be on Wednesday, March 4th.